Now, back to more of Behind the Scenes at the Hanover Theatre. And your host, Lisa Condon.
Welcome back once again, and thanks for listening. I am here with Jennifer Agbay. She is the director of Ballet Arts Worcester, as well as, of course, the director of their production of the Nutcracker, the annual tradition we are so pleased to have at the Hanover Theatre. Welcome, Jennifer.
Hi, Lisa. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. First of all, I have to just let you know that when you had your dancers performing at the Fauria this past week, the comments from everybody who was there were so unbelievably positive, and people came up to me for days afterwards saying, "Oh, it was so wonderful to see those dancers from the Nutcracker. What a great opportunity." So just great sneak peek.
Nice. Yes. And you know, it's great for us too, because at this point in time, the dancers need all the exposure that they can get in the practice that they can get performing in front of crowds, whether they're up front close or waiting in their seats as an audience member at the Hanover Theatre. It gives them a chance to really shine up and polish their facial expressions, their energy. So an event like that was perfect for us.
Oh, it was really great. And it's interesting because I was wondering how you were going to be dancing on the floor, because obviously dancers need the right kind of flooring. And when you're in a convention area, what kind of floor were you dancing on? Was it tile?
You know, it was a tile floor with a little bit of groove in it. But to be honest with you, the dancers were very surprised how much control they did have on the floor with their technique shoes. And prior to them going on, I did say to them, "Girls, I want you to be careful because, you know, this is not a conducive dance floor. So lots of faces, lots of expression." I said, "You can just tone down the legs." And after, they said, "Oh, Miss Jen, we felt as though we just had to go full out. There was an audience there. We had to represent."
Don't you love
it?
it?
Very, very cute. It was, I was amazed at their want to please. You know, that was really great.
It was wonderful. And what was the
for
age range that you had there?
The youngest was 7, and the oldest was 18.
Wow. And was the youngest the little black sheep?
She was. That is my daughter, Stella. Yes.
She did such a great job. Loved it.
She's not even the black sheep in the production. You know, luckily with having 2 daughters, they're accessible to me. So when I say, "Mom, you need a white sheep or a black sheep," they're on board.
That is awesome. Love that. And you know what? What were some of the other dancers that you had there? I don't want to get their roles incorrect.
Yeah, so we had, of course, Clara and some of her party girl friends there. We had Spanish dancer, we had Chinese dancer, we had the shepherdess, and we had the Kissy doll as well, and the Russian dancer. Those were the dancers.
You know what impresses me, Jen, is that, because remember, I did take ballet for a few years, but even your youngest dancers, their turnout and their technique is impeccable.
Thank you. Well, you know what? We kind of pride ourselves on that at Ballet Arts Worcester. If you're going to learn classical ballet, you've got to learn right from that young age. And, of course, formal training at our school starts around 7 and 8 years old. So, you know, they are in tune to their bodies, and they are in tune to the discipline and the standard of classical ballet. So we are trying to turn on their minds, to use their muscles, to turn on their muscles, to have their feet rotated out. So I'm glad that you said that, because this is, you know, like I said, this is what we pride ourselves on.
That's right. And so when you hold those auditions back in September, I'm sure those are the types of things that you're looking for in addition to facial expression and theatricality, if that's even a word.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. And, you know, I make a statement before the dancers audition, and I do say to them clearly that we are looking at their technical skill, their ability, and, of course, their talent. I mean, it has to be a combination of those things, because in the end, that's what you see as a product of, you know, the performance.
Absolutely.
And choosing, you know, the kids that are in the production currently, it's amazing the growth that they have had in a 11 weeks, they are not the same students or dancers that they were 11 weeks ago.
Well, I was going to ask you about that,
yeah.
actually, because I recognize some of the dancers from previous years, and it just seems like they've improved by leaps and bounds, no pun intended, really.
Yeah, sure.
But where do you see everybody who's involved with the production, where do you see the most growth?
I see the most growth, I would say, technically. That's where I see the most growth. And I see it with all the children involved.
Wow.
Just because we stress it so much. And, some technical elements they may not have been introduced to, or it hasn't been broken down to them. And at Ballet Arts Worcester, with having these children on premises, we really train them to perform. And we train them technically first, then we train them artistically, and then they get on to the stage and they showcase what they have learned in 11 weeks. And these kids are like sponges. Whether they already have it, they're refining it. Whether they have not had it, they are happy to have it now. And it's like wearing a brand new dress or a pair of new shoes. They want to show it off. They have, shined it up and they have committed to it. And so now it's their time to showcase that. So I do see a tremendous growth in them technically, and just in their spirits too. Their spirits are so much more confident. Oh. They have such an aura that is coming from that I did not see from them in the first Saturday that I saw them after audition. So I'm really proud of their progress. I'm really proud of what they have absorbed and what they have committed to.
Oh,
so
I
it's
bet.
Really cool.
I bet. And it shows in everything that you all are doing. So we're sprinting through the last few days to a week before, your opening night. Tell us a little bit about what's your life like this week?
Oh, my God, my life. What life?
It's all for the arts, Jennifer.
And it truly is. And you know what? I joke about this and I say to my family, it's August, I'll see you in December, because it is a little crazy schedule-wise and with preparations for it, but I would never not do this. And, with every ounce of me, there is a passion that goes on in every single corner of this production, and whether that's, running here and there to get fabric for newer costumes, or meeting people for interviews, or small performance events, or meeting the kids at the studio for rehearsal. It is, no pun intended, a little nutty, but you have to be a little nuts
right.
to do a production of this magnitude and caliber with youth dancers. So what you get is what you get, and you ride with it. And when people say to you, how did you do this? And I say, honestly, I don't look back. I keep moving forward.
That's right.
The back is a blur, because when you're in it, you're in it. And you have to be in it for the right things, because if you're not, then it's never going to show through on stage.
That's right.
So schedule is crazy, but I love every aspect of it, and I will love it until I can no longer do it.
Oh, that's so good. And we love having you there. Last time we talked, you were discussing just some of the tweaks you wanted to make to some of the elements. I think that you were talking about the costumes in particular that you wanted to freshen up a little bit for, right. And I don't want to say the wrong character's name, but what's the madam with the big skirt?
Mother Ginger.
Thank you.
Yep.
So how did that go? Are you done?
It's in its final works. If people actually want to log on to our Facebook page, they can actually see behind the scenes pictures of Mother Ginger being, composed. And she's going to be pretty magnificent. And I was just talking to the designer, and we were trying to get height proportions. And I said to her, how you go into some of these estate mansions and houses and they have estate furniture? I'm like, I want Mother Ginger to be this estate-looking figure. And she's like, okay, well, if that's what you want, you'll have it. So she's going to make quite the impression, I think, on our opening night on Friday. We're all anxious about it, but excited at the same time. But people will absolutely notice a difference and an improvement in her.
Ooh, I can't wait.
Excited.
And
yeah,
Jennifer,
excited.
we have to take a quick break, but I want everybody
Sure.
to stay tuned as we
Okay.
continue after with more conversation with Jennifer Agbay, director of The Nutcracker.
Now back to more of Behind the Scenes at the Hanover Theatre and your host, Lisa Condon.
Thanks again for listening. We're continuing our conversation with Jennifer Agbay, Director of Ballet Arts Worcester and The Nutcracker, coming to the Hanover Theatre Thanksgiving weekend, of course. So, Jennifer, we talked a little bit about Mother Ginger and her estate-like new costume. I can't wait to see how grand it is. Just out of curiosity, what fabric are you using for her?
Oh, my goodness. So the designer had an idea of maybe coming out of the traditional palette that we have for her. And she's actually going to, I think, make her a little bit blue and gray. Still a eye-catchy color. But as far as the fabric, I think she has to go something that is a little lightweight because the frame that it's going to sit on can't weigh down Mother Ginger because this year she's going to be on stilts.
Ooh.
So Mother Ginger has to kind of balance. I'm going to call it this new girdle
Wow.
plus being on stilts. So the fabric can't be that heavy. Usually when we make a dress of that style, we use upholstery fabric because it's more durable and
Right.
it has a nice weight to it. But for this, we're afraid to do that because of trying to get her to do like a nice balancing act instead of a terrifying one.
Absolutely. So I just need to know, did your Mother Ginger know how to walk on stilts before she got this role?
Yes, had experience before, so
Good.
that's amazing in itself.
I'll say. Is this somebody who's been in your production year after year?
It is. Actually, it's Nathan Colby.
Oh.
He's also our Drosselmeyer.
Oh,
so
right.
Drosselmeyer, yes. So Drosselmeyer is in our first act, and then he switches over during intermission into Mother Ginger. It's quite the transformation, that's for sure.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So what other new twists have you added this year?
To the beginning, I'm trying to think, Nutcracker. New twists, not so many to be honest with you. We did a lot last year.
Yes, you did.
With our boxes, with a new tree.
Yes.
So this year we're just trying to keep it status quo because we're trying to, still feel the groove with all the newer items that we put in last year. And Mother Ginger is really the one thing that we are, debuting this year.
Well, I can't wait to see it. And, even though you're saying that might be the only, quote, new thing, you have a new cast every year in different new roles, right?
Yes, we do. Absolutely, we do. So that takes, a transformation all on its own as well. And it keeps it new and fresh for the dancers.
Absolutely.
So that it can keep it new and fresh for our audience members, especially the ones that are coming for, tradition with their families. They come every year. So we try to make it as fresh as we can for those eyes because, a tradition is a tradition, a classic is a classic. You can only spark them up as much as the story will allow you. So it's important to me that there is a freshness.
Oh, absolutely. So out of curiosity, how many cast members do you have this year?
This year we have about 120 cast members, just our youth dancers. And, of course, we have our professional dancers. So probably I'd say around 125.
And so, again, out of curiosity, I remember meeting last year's Clara. What role does she have this year?
Last year's Clara, she is our Spanish principal.
I thought so. I thought I recognized her.
Yep, Meredith Hunter Mason, yep. And she's also going to be our Russian soloist as well.
Nice. And so then who's this year's Clara?
This year is Isabella Calandra. She's a 13-year-old teenager who goes to AMSA, and she is from Grafton.
Nice.
And kind of funny, her sister was Clara 2 years ago.
Right.
So it's kind of in the family.
Oh, that's so great. And I did have the pleasure of meeting their mother. Very nice woman.
She is. She's wonderful and very supportive of her children.
Right. And I also have to just say for the record that the mothers that I've met from Ballet Arts Worcester are not like the dance moms we've all seen on reality TV.
No, they're not. Oh,
Thank God, right?
Yes. No, I have to say that, not only are the BAW moms, Ballet Arts Worcester moms, and dads, because we have some dads that are involved too, are wonderful. But I have to say that I have met an extraordinary group of parent volunteers for Nutcracker. So I'm blessed in both ways. When it's a separate Ballet Arts Worcester function, I am very fortunate to have these parents behind me. And now as a Nutcracker production or event, I have another wonderful group of parent volunteers. So
that's great. And how many different towns? Do you happen to know how far or wide the reach goes as far as your cast members?
Oh, my God. We have somebody that comes from Lunenburg, and we also have somebody who comes right outside of Massachusetts in Connecticut.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great, though, isn't it?
Yes. It's extraordinary. I mean, it's a dream come true to be able to spread this kind of news that there is a performance opportunity for Worcester County dancers and beyond. So, yeah, I'm thrilled with the way it's broadening. Absolutely.
Oh, it's going to be great. It's going to be great. And you know what? You also, this doesn't have anything to do with the Nutcracker, but you also deserve a little bit of praise and recognition for the work you did with our Adopt a School program. When you went to South High School and you worked with their entire student population, teaching them some of the dance moves from the finale of Memphis the Musical. And then those kids came to the theater and performed. How did you fit that into your busy schedule in between Nutcracker rehearsals?
When it's something, when it's something that you can do for the community that these kids would probably not typically have, how can you not say
right?
No? I mean, you need to say yes. You need to say, I'm going to do this because these students need me. They need me. If they don't have me, then they're not going to be able to go through with this opportunity. So when Megan Patrick, called me and she said, I know you're so busy, but do you think you can do this? I just said, absolutely. Whatever you have running on your schedule, just fit me in. I will make my schedule, and I'll put it on hold so that I can accommodate your needs for this particular opportunity. So, as a dancer, as a choreographer, I can look at a piece of choreography and I can get it down in no time. I take my notes, I embody it, and then I go and I regurgitate it and I show it to these kids. And for that, for me, it's really no time. The most valuable part of it is being able to interact with these kids, to get them to do something that they wouldn't normally do, and have them actually have some sort of pride about it.
Absolutely.
The pride that I saw coming through on these students was amazing. And, I only worked with them for maybe 2.5 days. And at the end, I was so touched by their enthusiasm, by their personalities, by their caring, that I actually got a little teary-eyed at the end. Because, working with a community like that is it's just so valuable. It's so unique. So to be able to have that opportunity as just a person, human being, it was like one of the best best Christmas gift I could have early.
Oh, well, and honestly, it's your generosity and that can-do spirit and attitude that makes all the difference and makes you such a pleasure to work with. And you do realize, don't you, that you just described that same sense of pride with those South High School students as you did with your Nutcracker cast. And I think a lot of that has to do with working with you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. You know what? For me, I want to be me. Right? I want to be able to be Jennifer Agbay, though I may wear many hats and I may be the leader for some things. I just want to be me, and I want that to come off. I don't want, Jennifer the director or Jennifer the choreographer. I want Jennifer the human being to come forth, So that means a lot to me when I hear feedback like that I'm easy to work with or
absolutely.
Fun to work with. It's just who I am.
And high quality. Excellent product.
Yeah,
excellent product.
That's all I've ever known, as a dancer growing up. And so I'm just bringing forward what I know.
Well, I think it's fabulous. If anybody wants more information about Jennifer's dance studio, is it BAW?
Yes, Ballet Arts Worcester. If you want to get really formal, it's BAW Inc. But they can find us on Facebook. They can find us on balletartsworcester.com.
There we go, balletartsworcester.com. Information about the Nutcracker, of course, is available at thehanovertheatre.org.
Yes.
We do have that holiday package with brunch at Ceres, tickets to the Nutcracker, and the souvenir Nutcracker per package. We have so many great things. Jennifer, it's such a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you for all that you do for the theater, for the community, for your students. We're looking forward to seeing your dancers grace the stage. I already have the Sugar Plums dancing in my head, so now I'll get to see them on stage. I'm looking forward to that.
Yes, you will.
I hope you have
this opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope you have a great holiday, and we'll see everybody at the theater. Stay tuned for more after this break on Behind the Scenes at the Hanover Theatre.